The wind screamed through the city's concrete canyons, turning breath to ice in the urban alleyways. Elias, a veteran who survived desert heat, now faced a new enemy, the freezing winter night.
Huddled in the shadows, he knew this brutal night was a test he might not pass.
His only hope was a thin, frayed wool blanket wrapped tightly around his shivering body. This meager fabric was the sole reason his heart still beat in the sub-zero air. He tried to disappear into the brick wall, a solitary figure fighting for every breath. Every few minutes, he checked the street, but it was empty. The city had retreated indoors. Elias, a homeless veteran, faced a profound struggle, a silent battle against the cold. Tonight, he felt more alone than ever, uncertain of his survival.
Elias, nestled against the cold brick, peered out at the deserted cityscape. The wind screamed through the concrete canyons, intensifying the sub-zero chill.
No cars, no pedestrians, just an empty street where everyone had long retreated indoors, seeking refuge from the relentless frozen night. Suddenly, a faint sound cut through the ceaseless howling wind, a sound distinctly not mechanical or human. It was a low, desperate whimper, echoing from behind a nearby pile of frozen trash.
This unexpected noise pierced the solitude, hinting at another presence in the otherwise abandoned city.
Elias looked over, catching a reflection of distant streetlights in a pair of suffering eyes. Curled tightly behind the refuse lay a small stray dog, its body vibrating violently from the cold and starvation. Its matted fur was encrusted with ice, a poignant image of an abandoned pet struggling against the brutal elements.
Elias looked down at his own hands, already a pale blue from the biting cold.
He understood that parting with his thin wool blanket meant inviting the frost deep into his very bones, a perilous challenge to his own survival. This presented a profound moral dilemma, a test of his enduring spirit in a moment of ultimate vulnerability. Yet, as he watched the small dog struggle against the frigid air, he saw a stark reflection of his own desolate existence.
The animal's silent suffering mirrored the hardship Elias himself had faced, a forgotten soul left to battle the world's harsh indifference. Empathy surged through him, connecting their shared plight.
Without a second's hesitation, the veteran reached out. He began to unwrap the precious wool from his own shivering body, a profound act of self-sacrifice. His decision wasn't born of logic, but from a deep, innate human spirit that refused to let another living being face such suffering alone. Elias moved slowly, carefully laying the precious wool blanket over the small, shivering dog. He gently tucked the edges, creating a cozy pocket of warmth.
The whimpering stopped, replaced by a quiet wonder in the animal's eyes. A silent thank you for this unexpected act of kindness. A fragile trust was born in the freezing alley.
With nothing but his thin jacket, Elias spent the rest of the night huddled against the brick, fighting the insidious cold. He vigilantly watched over his new companion, ensuring the blanket stayed secure. Stomping his feet and rubbing his arms, he battled exhaustion, knowing sleep could be permanent in the sub-zero street scene. As the first pale light of dawn touched the snow, Elias was visibly exhausted, yet the dog slept soundly, safe under its wool haven. A young woman, heading to work, glanced into the alley.
Stopping
she witnessed the profound act of kindness. A homeless man, coatless, protecting a sleeping stray. Elias spent a brutal, sleepless night, huddled with only his thin jacket for protection against the freezing urban cold. He fought the overwhelming urge to fall asleep, knowing such rest could be permanent in the sub-zero temperatures. He constantly rubbed his arms and stomped his feet, desperately trying to keep his blood moving and fend off the encroaching frostbite. His unwavering focus remained on the small dog, ensuring its new blanket offered sufficient warmth amidst the howling wind. This solitary vigil was a profound test of human endurance, pushing Elias to his absolute limits. His dedication to protecting this vulnerable animal transcended his own critical need for warmth. As the first faint light of dawn finally touched the snow-covered alley, Elias was a stark image of exhaustion and paleness. He had endured the brutal urban night, his body pushed to its breaking point. However, the dog slept peacefully, a warm, breathing testament to Elias's profound sacrifice and the dawn relief. As the first light of dawn touched the snow, Elias, pale and exhausted, watched the dog still sleeping peacefully under his blanket. A young woman, heading to her early bakery shift, happened to glance down the alley. She stopped, witnessing the stark contrast. A man without warmth, a dog cradled in his shared blanket. Deeply moved by the quiet act of sacrifice she observed, she quickly pulled out her phone. Without a word, she captured a single powerful photo of the touching scene. She then posted the image online, accompanying it with a brief but heartfelt description of the profound compassion she had just witnessed. By the time the sun was fully up, that single image had been shared thousands of times. The compelling story of Elias's selfless act spread like wildfire through the cold city's awakening populace. This social media impact galvanized an unexpected event, inspiring those in their warm homes to act. The city's compassion ignited quickly after Elias's selfless act went viral. A local shop owner was among the first to respond, arriving in the frigid alley with a thermos of hot coffee and 2 thick coats. This immediate act of kindness marked the beginning of powerful community action and public support. Soon after, the spirit of giving spread further as student volunteers joined the growing effort. They brought bags of much-needed dog food for Elias's furry companion and a brand new sleeping bag for the veteran himself. These thoughtful donations demonstrated profound public generosity. By midday, the once forgotten alleyway transformed from a place of bleak neglect into a hub of warmth and hope. Hundreds of strangers gathered, not just with items for Elias and the dog, but with blankets and supplies for every person struggling on the streets, truly spreading generosity throughout the city. As the outpouring of generosity swelled beyond the alley, the city council recognized the urgent crisis. They swiftly opened a temporary shelter within a nearby community center, providing much-needed warmth and safety. This decisive action transformed individual acts of kindness into an organized citywide effort to combat the cold. Vans were immediately dispatched, launching a comprehensive homeless outreach and rescue operation across the city streets. They collected individuals still braving the freezing temperatures, bringing them to the newly established warm facilities. Elias himself was among those brought to safety, experiencing the relief of shelter after his harrowing night. At the shelter, Elias received a hot meal and medical attention, but he wouldn't enter without his canine companion. Understanding the bond, staff made a special exception, making the space truly dog-friendly. Elias and the dog were given a spot side by side, finally finding a safe haven together. The city's coldest winter soon became known as the Winter of the Blankets, a powerful historical event demonstrating profound social change. Thousands of lives were saved that year, inspiring citizens to establish a foundation. This foundation, named after Elias and his dog, ensures no one faces the impossible choice between their own warmth and another's survival. Elias, once invisible, found a new beginning. He secured a job at the very shelter that saved him, providing vital employment opportunities, and received his own apartment. This veteran recognition meant he was no longer alone, fostering deep human connection with his dog and a grateful community. Now, when winter howls, the city actively seeks out those in need, a lasting impact born from Elias's simple act. His thin wool blanket hangs framed in the community center, a powerful symbol of enduring human connection. Elias often sits with his dog, smiling at the snow, finally knowing he is truly home. The thin wool blanket, once a fragile hope, now hangs proudly framed within the community center. It's not just fabric, it's a powerful community symbol, a constant reminder of how selfless kindness ignited a city's heart. This framed blanket inspires new generations to always extend a helping hand. Each winter, as snow falls across the urban landscape, the city remembers. The howling wind no longer brings dread, but a call to action, reflecting the enduring hope Elias instilled. This annual vigilance ensures that no one is forgotten, proving kindness matters more than ever. And Elias, now truly home with his faithful dog, watches the falling snow with a profound sense of peace. His single act became a timeless inspiration, a legacy woven into the very fabric of the city. He knows he sparked a fire that continues to warm countless lives.